Hey guys, Kiran Reddy Adula from High Teaching Academy. So welcome to day 5 of Project-365, Learning Cloud Technology step by step. So in the last class, I've shown you guys how to go ahead, how to create a Linux virtual machine on the AWS cloud, how to connect to a Linux virtual machine. All right. Now in today's class, before I start teaching you the commands of Linux virtual machine, I want to talk about the Linux directory structure. So what is a directory structure? So here I have a Mac machine. Uh, yeah, you see this. So this is my Mac machine. Now on this Mac machine, if you scroll towards the left, you guys can see this is my PC. Yeah, it's my Macintosh PC. And if I go into the Macintosh HD, I can see that there are different directories that are available: applications, library, system, users. And if I go to the users directory, I can see my user profile here, Durga Kiran Reddy. And under this user profile, I can see sub profiles where I can see applications, downloads, movies, music. All right. So this is the profile layer of the graphical user interface of a Mac machine. Like everything has a directory and every directory has subdirectories. There are folders within folders. Now, similarly, even Linux, you see this. So Linux is purely command line interface, guys. Now, what is command line interface? Simple. Whatever I want to do in Linux, we have to go ahead, we have to execute it in form of a command. So the first command that I want to introduce you before I talk about directory structure is something called as PWD. So PWD stands for print working directory or present working directory. So what this exactly does is this exactly shows that where are we currently standing? Okay. So we are currently standing under the profile called as EC2 user. EC2 user. So what is EC2 user? Say this is the username for the particular Linux instance that we have launched. And this EC2 user is under the profile called as home. So apparently the home directory is like the parent of the EC2 user directory. Just like how, again, I just opened my Mac machine here. You see this? We are under the profile called as, let's say if I go to downloads, now under downloads, there are multiple files. Now, all of these files, the parent for all of these files is a folder called as downloads. But where is downloads located? Downloads is located under my user profile called as Durga Kiran Reddy. Where is Durga Kiran Reddy located? It is located under the shared library or under the users directory. You see? So where is users directory located? It is located under the Mac machine, or to put it in a simple way, this is like the main drive, the primary drive that my machine has. So similarly, like every folder has subfolder and every folder has a parent folder or a parent directory. Even in Linux, so you see guys, we have a folder called as EC2 user. For EC2 user, we have a folder. Now EC2 user is located under the folder called as home. So home is like a parent directory. Got it? And for the parent directory for home, you see there is something called as slash. You see the slash? Now the slash is very important, guys. The slash is defined as root. So what is root? Root, you can simply imagine root is like admin. Root is like admin, the system administrator. So root is like the administrator. Now, if I go to root, now let's say I want to go to root, I can simply say cd slash. Slash represents root. So if I say enter, now look at this, guys. Where am I? I am under the root directory. Okay. So root is the parent of all the different directories. Now, under the root directory, if I want to see the list of contents, I can run the command called as ls. ls stands for list. Okay. ls stands for list. If I say ls, you see, I can see the list of different directories that are available here. So again, guys, I'll just clear my screen. Now, if I say ls, now you see this, there are multiple different directories in here, guys. Okay. Under the root directory, there are multiple different directories. So every directory has its own significance. Okay. So before we move on to understanding Linux, we need to understand the significance of each and every single directory. Like what is the purpose of all of these directories? So there are a lot of different directories, but we do not have to go across all the different directories. So we will understand the most important directories of Linux. Yeah. So I'll just go to the browser and I'll simply search for Linux directory structure. Okay, so under this web page, now you guys can see this, they're giving a reference. Okay, so here we have the root directory. Under the root directory, there are multiple different subdirectories. All right, now I'll just scroll down a little. Now look at this, guys. So these are the multiple different, the overall different directories that are available in Linux. You see, these are all the different directories that are available in Linux. But now out of this, the most important directories that I need. Yeah. Out of this, the most important directories that we need, we are going to only focus on those ones. So if I scroll up, all right. So these are some of the important directories that we need to know about. So first thing, we have the /bin. The bin stands for binary or executable programs. So all the commands that we are executing, well, these commands are loaded in the bin directory. Then you have the /etc directory. etc stands for extras or the system configuration files. So all the configuration files that your system has are stored under the etc directory. And then we have the home directory. So this is where all the user profiles are stored. Home directory, it is the default current directory. So whenever we create a new user or the current user, all the user profiles are under the home directory. And then we have the /opt directory, which is called as the optional directory. So we can use this directory to store any third-party software. Then we have the temporary directory, temporary space. Now, the specialty of the temporary directory is that if I store any file within the temporary directory, and when I reboot the machine, when I restart the server, the temporary directory clears all the content that was stored inside this directory. Then we have the /user directory. This is where all the user related programs are stored. Then we have the /var directory where all the log files are stored. So these are some of the most important directories in Linux that you guys need to know, guys. So before we proceed further, kindly get familiarized with these directories, because starting tomorrow, like when we start working on Linux commands, we need to understand this path or the directory structure. We need to know how to go to the bin directory, how to go to the etc directory, how to go to the home directory. So we need to have a clear idea about all of these commands. Yeah. So go ahead and get familiarized with it. And also you guys can go through all the different directories and what is the purpose of all the different directories that are available here. But we just went ahead, we just looked at all the most important directories that we are going to be working around with. Yeah. So that's about today's class, where we understood about the Linux directory structure. In tomorrow's class, we are going to go ahead, we are going to start working on what are the different Linux commands and how to learn this Linux commands in order to go ahead, in order to achieve your Red Hat certified system administration. Yes. So kindly like, share, subscribe, and keep following the content, because for the next 360 days, I'm going to keep teaching you about all the latest technologies, and stay committed, stay consistent. Yeah. Thank you, guys. See you guys in tomorrow's class. Bye, guys.